Ms. McIntyre, you and your mother stand before me claiming that you are 100% certain that Mr. Wilson is your 3-year-old son, Jashawn's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes. That's correct.
You say the only reason he has doubt is because he wants to live the single life.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Picture this. You've got Ms. McIntyre looking like she's got it all figured out, standing before the judge with her mom, claiming she's 100% sure Mr. Wilson is her son's dad. You know the vibe? Total confidence. But hold up, Mr. Wilson. He's sitting there with some serious doubts. And guess what? He says he's got evidence. Oh, honey. You know when someone starts talking about evidence, it's about to get real juicy.
Court has ever seen before to prove that Ms. McIntyre cheated on you numerous times, and therefore you are not her son's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Ms. McIntyre, buckle up, because it looks like this relationship started on Facebook. Yes, that's right, Facebook. He slid into her DMS with a picture that, according to her, made her think he was cute. Flash forward to the first meeting and whoa, the man looks nothing like his pics. She thought he catfished her, but he's over here like, nah baby, that's just me. And she's like, no, that's not what I signed up for. Talk about expectation versus reality.
We never met before.
Okay.
So we finally wanted to meet up, and when he got off the bus, I seen this. He catfished me. I didn't expect this. No. I did not expect this getting off the bus. No. I wanted him to go back. I did not expect this at all.
Ms. McIntyre is spilling the tea, saying he went from this to that. She didn't know what to do with herself. Like, can you imagine? You go in for the date of your life, only to get a reality check? But no, Mr. Wilson's like, hey, I'm sexy, I don't need to catfish nobody, okay? Whew, boy, the audacity.
What can I show
or something, I don't know.
Did you try to catfish her, Mr. Wilson?
No, lies all the way around. I'm sexy, why I need to catfish somebody?
Right.
Is you serious? Okay, lies.
Really?
Really. You saw what you saw. You felt to go with what you wanted to see.
And then, bam, they did the deed. And now we've got baby Jashawn on the way. But wait, are we hearing this right? He's like, I want to be the dad, but not really. Sir, make up your mind. Meanwhile, Ms. McIntyre is like, nope, this baby is yours, sir. Period. But it gets worse. He's saying she's ratchet yikes. Like, you can't even make this stuff up.
What, bam, you made a baby?
Yeah,
bam, we made a baby.
So are you admitting then that this is your child?
I want to be honest. I'm not here to say I'm denying my kid, but at the same time too, Miss McIntyre kind of ratchet at the same time.
Okay, so hold the phone. Ms. McIntyre is completely certain this is his kid, and she's saying, why would I claim him as my baby daddy if he's not? Like, who even asked that question? But Mr. Wilson? He's not having it. She's ratchet, he says. And then he starts bringing up the past. She was messing with other guys, and now he's like, I'm not sure this is my baby. Drama alert.
Why would I want to claim him as my baby dad?
So wait, I need to understand, what in the world were you all doing? I mean, you meet on Facebook, you all get together. Did you decide to be girlfriend and boyfriend?
Facebook was never part of the picture. That's the thing. She met me in person, real life, through a family member.
Here's where it gets messy. Turns out they weren't even official at first. Ms. McIntyre is over here trying to play it cool, but Mr. Wilson's like, nah, we were messing with each other on the low, and I claimed her, okay? Don't get it twisted. But then he's like, oh wait, no, I didn't even show up when she gave birth. Major side eye, where was he? Nowhere to be found. Seems like someone is skirting responsibility.
A boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I was rocking with her tough. I was claiming her as my girlfriend. I'm not never gonna deny that.
You were?
Yes, I was.
You didn't live together?
We lived together like after.
Way after the fact Jashawn was in the picture.
Take me to the day you gave birth. Did you tell Mr. Wilson?
Nope. Nope, not until after the fact.
Fast forward to the big day. Ms. McIntyre's in labor, but Mr. Wilson's still playing games. He's claiming he didn't get the call until the baby was already born. Is that even possible? According to Ms. McIntyre, he had no excuse. He just didn't show up. I mean, let's be real. This is beyond ghosting. This is like the Phantom of the Opera level of ghosting, and we're not buying it.
Why wouldn't we want him to be there?
Because she don't like me, just like I don't like her.
He didn't have a ride. That was his excuse.
For real,
that was his excuse.
They claim
he didn't have a ride. I called him.
After the fact,
I called him when she was in labor.
Never.
I called him from the hospital room when she was in labor.
And what happened?
I called him before, like.
Oh, but it doesn't end there, fam. Mr. Wilson claimed he was totally left in the dark. I called, but they said they couldn't reach me? Really? Really? You're telling me you didn't know about your baby's arrival until after the fact? Ms. McIntyre says she called you the day she went into labor, but now you're playing the I was unreachable card. Come on, stop it.
What happened to the big old gap?
Where's the gap at, though? And you didn't have a ride.
My thing is, it don't matter. It don't matter. You should have called me before, not after he was born.
You know what?
I'm not
How do you know you're going to go in labor? How do you know you're going to go in labor?
So listen, question. The man has a point. When you say, oh, I think this is it. I think I'm gonna have him.
And then there's the birth certificate drama. He wasn't even on it, y'all. No last name, no nothing. But Ms. McIntyre's out here planning on putting him on child support. Oof, that's about to be a whole mess. And he's over here like, if the baby's not mine, I'm not doing anything. That's cold, Mr. Wilson. Cold as ice.
He said, Ma, we gotta call Mr. Wilson.
And you did?
Yeah, she did, and she told me to talk to him, but I was in the same room that she was.
And you remember this conversation?
Yes, I do.
Miss McIntyre, so you're saying he's incorrect when he says he wasn't even notified?
Right.
He was notified the day she was notified, the day she went in labor.
Then he drops this bomb. Someone told him she was messing with someone else at the same time, and he's got the text to prove it. Oh, honey, the tea's about to spill all over the place. He's got receipts, and he's waving them like they're gold. But hold up, Ms. McIntyre's like, that's a lie, I needed money, and I was doing what I had to do. Okay, she's not denying it, but she's definitely owning it.
His name on the birth certificate?
No.
Nope.
Did you give the baby his last name?
No.
No.
Shirley didn't.
And why is that?
That's because she's not for sure.
I am for
Not.
sure.
Next up, he confesses to super cheating. Y'all heard that right, super cheating. This man was cheating with everybody and anybody. Boys, girls, trans, you name it. And then he's like, so yeah, when she got pregnant, I was ghosting too. Like, sir, are we seriously having this conversation right now?
I want to understand your doubt, Mr. Wilson. I want to understand. Why do you doubt Jay Sean is your biological son?
Because I have got texts from family members, okay? People getting their feelings, and that's what I love about people, because people getting their feelings get mad, and that's when true stories come out.
But of course, the drama doesn't stop there. He's talking about how Ms. McIntyre ghosted him for 4 months. Like 4 months of radio silence, and now we're supposed to believe he's concerned? Nah, buddy. You were doing your own dirt, and now you want to blame her? Not today, Mr. Wilson. Not today.
My thing is this, not only that, I have
Where's
called
the
Miss
text?
McIntyre in her phone
Where's the text?
a couple of times with other dudes offering favors for jobs. Now, let's get this
please.
correct. Let's get this correct. I brought it to her attention. I'm a real man before I get my assumptions going. I like to ask.
And now, the cherry on top, he's got ghosts to show for it. Yes, you heard that right, ghosts. Apparently, Ms. McIntyre just vanished off the face of the earth for months, and he's got proof to show it. But when it comes down to it, they're both just sitting here playing the blame game. This is like a bad reality show we didn't sign up for.
I put myself in bad situations for this girl right here. You feel me? So yeah, I was hurt. So I went out there, I was super cheating. You know what I'm saying? I served.
Yeah.
Super
when
cheating.
you come back,
I was super cheating.
With transies, right?
I was
That day when I was
super
asleep,
cheating.
when I was
You
asleep,
feel me?
huh?
So what do we get after all of this mess? A 3-year-old child who's been left in the middle of this drama? But wait, there's more. Mr. Wilson's finally got his moment. He can be a dad, but will he? His response? I'm not sure I'm ready. Yeah, buddy, you're 3 years too late.
Being honest with you, that was.
So you were just sleeping with anybody?
And everybody.
That's scary.
Anybody, boys, girls, whatever. Transies, all that. Yes.
I got pregnant with Jay Sean. Miss McIntyre left me for like 4 or 5 months. She went MIA, unseen, unnoticed. Miss McIntyre was nowhere to be found, so what I'm supposed to do?
Fast forward to the final twist. He's about to find out if he's the dad. After all the drama, the fights, the ghosting, and the accusations, it's finally time to get the DNA results. Hold on to your wigs, people.
I left because
I got no
she know
return,
me.
none of that.
That's the reason why I left him for the 4th. Yes, I did. I don't want to be bothered with that.
So you admit you did leave?
Yes, I don't want to be bothered with that.
What is that you're holding,
That don't mean
Mr.
that
Wilson?
It's still his baby.
These my little ghosts for the little months that she was missing. I can explain.
Judge Lake drops the bomb. Mr. Wilson, you are the father. Cue the mic drop. All that drama and the paternity test confirms what we've been waiting for. Mr. Wilson is the dad, and Ms. McIntyre's like, I told you so. The truth's out.
We kind of didn't really start making it happen like that till like way after my birthday, which is on March 22nd.
Okay.
Okay, but since she said she was on January, we gonna fall with that, all right? So, boom, she was gone. Let's put it right there. Ghost.
But hold up, this ain't over yet. Mr. Wilson's finally stepping up, but will he stay around? After all these years of playing games, is it too late for this father to bond with his son? And let's not forget, she deserves more than what she's been getting.
You
What it
couldn't
gonna
get
be?
there.
So I'm steady rotating around the circle, okay? Come June, that's the whole June the song. That's summertime, okay?
One of your ghosts fell.
Yeah, just like
You
him.
know, that's June, that's another time. I'm
So
like,
the ghost means she's missing in action.
missing in action.
Judge Lake serves some real-life wisdom here. She tells Ms. McIntyre, you don't need to fall for those pictures and promises. You deserve better, sweetheart. I mean, preach, Your Honor. At the end of the day, this child needs a father who's present, not a ghost. And let's be real, ghosts don't do diapers.
Your ghost fell again.
His ghost falling, Your Honor,
Okay.
and one is upside down.
And
That should
then-
tell you something about him.
And then come July, they not sticking, but
This is one amazing exhibit you brought today,
know.
Mr. Wilson.
to sum it all up, I ain't here to reach into this day.
And there you have it, folks. A fresh start for baby Jay Sean, and maybe, just maybe, Mr. Wilson will finally step up. But only time will tell if he's gonna keep the ghosting in the past. We'll be watching.
Mr. Wilson, you are his father.
Told you. Told
That's all
you.
I needed to know.
Told you ought to be ashamed.
Court's adjourned, but this drama, never over.
Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This case is Sutton v. Smith.
Thank you.
You already know what time it is. Another wild episode of Paternity Court. Today's case, Ms. Sutton versus Mr. Smith. We've got DNA tests, accusations flying, and drama that you don't want to miss. Let's dive right in.
Miss Sutton, you say you believe you were in an exclusive relationship with Mr. Smith until you got pregnant and discovered he was living a double life. You say the defendant has denied your daughter, Kaylee, and you are in court to prove he is your child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Sutton walks in today claiming she was in an exclusive relationship with Mr. Smith. They were living together, had a bond, and then bam, she ended up pregnant. But hold up, this story takes a sharp left turn real quick when we find out Mr. Smith's other baby mama is sliding into her DMS. Oof. Things are about to get messy.
Mr. Smith, you and your mother say Miss Sutton is a pathological liar whose list of sexual partners extends well beyond just you. You admit to having 2 sexual encounters with the plaintiff, but say your relationship was anything but exclusive.
And now Mr. Smith, he's over here trying to backpedal. He's like, nah, we weren't really together. We just hooked up a couple of times. The denial is real, y'all. He's claiming they were never serious, but Ms. Sutton's calling cap saying the baby looks just like him. You know she's feeling some type of way right now.
What do you mean he had a double life?
Him and his other baby mama were together when he was supposed to be with me. Like, he was staying with me, living with me. I used to see him every day. He used to come home every night. And then all of a sudden, when I get pregnant, it's an issue.
Ms. Sutton's having none of it. She's out here saying that their daughter has his forehead, like she's literally looking at this baby, seeing him in her, and still, he's out here denying her. That's gotta hurt, right? I can feel the tension from here.
It's my picture of my ultrasound when I got pregnant with my daughter on Facebook. I tagged him in it, and that's when she messaged me, and she told me who she was. By my understanding, when she was pregnant with their daughter, he said he wasn't with her.
Now things take another turn when Mr. Smith's mom enters the chat. She's calling Ms. Sutton a pathological liar, accusing her of sleeping with everyone in the family. Dang, this family drama is going full throttle, y'all. Like, what even happened here?
For the baby, and that was it. Then all of a sudden, when I get pregnant, he's with her.
So is that true, Mr. Smith?
No, ma'am, that is not true.
What is your side of the story?
Well, when I first met LaQuay,
But hold up, Miss Sutton's got her own receipts. She's telling the court that Mr. Smith wasn't even there for the birth of their daughter. Not a single doctor's appointment, no support through the pregnancy, nothing. You can't be calling yourself a father and not show up for your kid's big moments, can you? Nah, that's not how it works.
first I met her through my cousin. You know, we chilled, we kicked it off. First time we had a sexual encounter, we met at my auntie house. We stayed, spent the night with each other, had our first sexual encounter. So after we had sex, I had went out of town to Cleveland, Ohio on a vacation. It was on the 4th of July. She called my cousin phone and something like.
Now the plot thickens even more when Mr. Smith's mom says Miss Sutton's just throwing money around while he's locked up to buy people's loyalty. But what about the baby? Where's the loyalty to her? This whole thing is spiraling out of control.
Is they around you? And she gave me the phone. She like, she said, oh, I'm pregnant by you. I'm like, you pregnant by who? She's like, by you. I'm like, him, you lying. You gotta be lying. I'm like, what about Jimmy, Joe, and John? You see?
And then bam, the shift. Mr. Smith finally starts talking about how emotional he is now that he knows he's the father. Like, after all the drama, now you want to step up? It's like, bruh, you've got years to make up for now, but let's see if you can do it.
She was sleeping with other people?
Yes.
Were you, Miss Sutton?
No, you've been denying my baby from day one. From day one, when she looked just like you. Ain't nobody in my family got no big forehead like that. That baby look just like you. Even your partners on the street on Fabric say that she look just like you.
Here it is, the moment we've all been waiting for are the DNA results. Judge Lake finally delivers the truth. Mr. Smith, you are the father. Now, you could cut the tension with a knife. Ms. Sutton's relieved, Mr. Smith's shocked, and this baby's life just got a lot more complicated.
I know they will, because every time they look around, you posting the picture. Every time they look around, you posting the picture. Look at him, look at him.
Wait a minute, Mr. Smith, I want to understand this. She's posting pictures of what now?
Me and the baby, telling everybody, oh, look, this is his baby, he denying my baby, and all this, and then next thing you know, I look up, you got a picture with.
Ms. Sutton's in tears, but honestly, who wouldn't be? Years of struggle and heartbreak, and now, maybe, just maybe, she'll get the support she and her daughter deserve. Mr. Smith, well, his reaction says it all. He just wants to see his daughter now. This whole case is a mess, but the truth is finally out.
Other dude beside each other.
That is my husband. It's a family picture.
A family picture. And she really wanted me to be in that girl's life. That day that I called her and said, hey, I'm finna come up there. You want me to come up there and pull up on you and see the baby? No, my mom said if you come up here, she don't want to have nothing to do with me and my baby, so you might as well stay there.
So, what's next? Mr. Smith now has a chance to be the father he wasn't before. But after all this, will they be able to move forward without more drama? I don't know, but stay tuned, because we're definitely not done with this story yet.
Mr. Smith, you are the father.
Can I see my baby?
So, tell me, what do you think? Was Mr. Smith wrong to deny his daughter for so long? Should Ms. Sutton have handled things differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share for more insane paternity court moments and family drama. Catch you next time.
Ms. Jackson, you have always believed Mr. Hightower was your father, but claim he disappeared out of your life when you were 6 and denied paternity. After reconnecting with him on the phone 2 months ago, you opened your case to prove what you have always known.
This case? Oh, it's got heartbreak, secrets, and 20 years of unanswered questions. Brittany Jackson has always believed one thing. Laddie Hightower is her father, but he vanished when she was 6, leaving her wondering why. Now she's here in court to prove it once and for all. But will the truth set her free or shatter everything she's ever known?
Ms. Jackson, it has been almost 20 years since you've seen the man you believe is your father. Are you ready to see him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Jerome, please escort him in. Ms. Jackson.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say you've always known Mr. Hightower is your father.
Yes.
After 2 decades apart, Brittany finally comes face to face with the man she calls Dad. She remembers the mall trips, him watching her play outside, but does he? When pressed, Mr. Hightower admits he was in a relationship with Brittany's mother, but he's always had doubts. Why? Because another man was in the picture. And just like that, the plot thickens.
He was my father, and I also have memories of him coming around when I was a little girl.
Please tell the court what you remember.
I remember going to the mall sometimes to meet with him, and sometimes him coming over to my house and just sitting in the car and watching me play in the front yard.
Mr. Hightower?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a relationship with Ms. Jackson's mother?
Yes, I did.
It gets messier. Mr. Hightower claims he asked for a DNA test years ago, but it never happened. Brittany fires back. If he really wanted to know, why didn't he try harder? Then comes a bombshell. She says he was there at the doctor's appointments, but he flat out denies it. So who's telling the truth?
So, Ms. Jackson says you are the man she was always told was her biological father. Did you know about her?
Yes, I did. But at the time, there was other individuals involved, so that's why I have doubt that I'm not the father. We did,
The emotions are running high. Brittany's memories of him are vivid. Trips to the mall, the promise of a Christmas bike that never came. But Mr. Hightower, he remembers things very differently. I never said that, he insists. So is this a case of a forgotten past or a rewritten one?
Her mother got pregnant. What did she tell you?
I seen her 2 months. She was 2 months pregnant at the time that I seen her. But at that time, her ex came back into the picture. So the dates that she was telling me just didn't add up.
You realized that the window of conception pointed more towards her ex than it did to you.
That's correct.
Then enters Mrs. Hightower, Laddie's wife. She confirms seeing Brittany when she was just 2 years old, but after that, nothing. Brittany's frustration boils over. Why did it take 20 years for him to come back? And his excuse? I needed to take care of myself first. That's not cutting it for Brittany.
I don't know why her mom would tell her that.
I don't think she'll lie to me.
I never, ever went to a doctor's appointment, because at the time, I was in a relationship.
All right. And so what did she tell you about the relationship she had with Mr. Hightower?
This is where it gets real. Brittany reveals she's been searching for him since she was 15, but he never looked for her. Then, out of nowhere, one of his daughters finds her online. "I think you're my sister," she says. And just like that, the past comes knocking.
And Under what pretense? Why is it you saw her? How is it you saw her?
I seen her because I always, in my mind, I thought, well, maybe it's a possibility. So at that time, I went and picked her up, me and Miss Hightower picked her up. Then we took her to the mall, went to the mall.
So why now? Mr. Hightower says he's turned to God, and with that came the need for closure. But Brittany's not buying it. You could have tried harder, she says, voice shaking. After all these years, she just wants the truth. And now, it's time to get it.
Once upon a time, he used to stay at night at my house. And the last time I seen him when I was about 6 years old, he told me that he was going to buy me a bike for Christmas, but he disappeared and never came back.
Did you say that to her, Hightower? You gonna buy her a bike?
No, ma'am.
And never came back?
No, ma'am. I don't recall.
The courtroom holds its breath as Judge Lake reads the results. The verdict? Mr. Hightower is not the father. The gasp from the audience says it all. A 24-year-old belief crushed in an instant. Brittany refuses his hug. She's not ready. And honestly, who could blame her?
With you today, ma'am, would you please stand and step up to the podium? Your name, ma'am?
Lisa Hightower.
Do you remember meeting Brittany?
I do, and she was 2 years old. We picked her up and we took her to the mall. And she says, I don't know how she remembers me, because that's the last time I seen her. I mean, I seen her other times, but it was...
Judge Lake steps in with words of wisdom. Brittany has lived a lie for 24 years, but now she's free to find the real truth. The journey isn't over, but at least one chapter has finally closed. And that's powerful.
Mr. Hightower, you are not the father. He's unfortunately not your biological father after all.
Want more shocking DNA reveals? Subscribe now and hit that notification bell because this is just the beginning.
You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This case of Burks v. Brown.
Thank you, Ron. Good day, everyone.
The drama's about to unfold in a case that's hotter than a summer day. Mr. Burks, claiming over $26,000 in child support debt, says Miss Brown is not his daughter. But Miss Brown, she spent 30 years believing the exact opposite. Let the battle begin.
Mr. Burks, you claim to be more than $26,000 in debt due to child support for the defendant, Miss Brown, who you say is definitely not your biological daughter. You are here to prove that in court so you can return home and get the debt erased from your record.
Narrator, Ms. Brown isn't having any of it. She's hurt, devastated, and confused. Imagine 30 years of believing someone is your father, only to have them say, nope. She fires back. How could you say that after all these years? And trust me, the courtroom's heating up as the truth starts unraveling.
I don't even know how to feel. I can't even believe somebody even have a question of how I feel. I'm 30 years old. 30 years old! And I have to deal with this, and then he brings up talking about it was a one-night stand with my mom and all that kind of stuff like that. It wasn't no one-night stand. He had a relationship with her and he know it. You know it.
Narrator. Now, let's take a trip down memory lane. 25 years ago, Mr. Burks was a young man in the military trying to protect his career. So, when he hooked up with Miss Brown's mom, it was supposed to be a one-night fling. But plot twist, she got pregnant and Mr. Burks' life got flipped upside down.
I'm just hurt. I'm just hurt inside. I really am.
All your life, you've known him to be your father.
Yes, Your Honor. And it's just like, how could you come up with this? He just crazy, deranged or something. It doesn't make no sense.
Your Honor, this was like 25, 30 years ago. I'm 25 years old. I'm in the military.
Narrator. Things get spicy when Mr. Burks admits he never signed Miss Brown's birth certificate. But guess what? The state still slapped him with child support papers. That's right, they named him as the father by default. $40,000 in arrears and all. But did he accept it? Oh no.
And I picked her up and we went to a hotel. I did my thing, but I did not.
You didn't. Y'all had a relationship. Yeah, they had a relationship.
I didn't have no relationship.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
Wasn't there. How you know?
You wanted to.
You wasn't even there.
Cause she told me.
Narrator. But wait, it gets more complicated. Mr. Burks insists there was no relationship with Miss Brown's mom. He says he was trying to protect his marriage and career, but Miss Brown isn't buying it, claiming, you had a relationship with her, you know you did.
And I was in the military, so, I didn't want to have no adultery charge put against me while I'm trying to protect my career. After that happened, my wife and I went back together. I'm back in the house with her. I'm at work. My ex-wife get a phone call. It's her mother on the phone saying she's pregnant by me. So my house get tore up all over again. Bam, I'm out the door again.
Narrator. The tension is palpable as Mr. Burks throws out a bombshell. He never really accepted Miss Brown as his daughter. And the kicker? He sent her a text saying, we'll see who you really are. You ain't none of mine. Yeah, that's one way to start a family discussion.
And so when I did find out that she was, I went to the hospital, but my name is not on the birth certificate. I'm not a father.
That's evidence you'd like to present?
Yes, ma'am.
Ron, will you pass that to me, please?
But my name is on the child support paper.
This is Miss Brown's birth certificate listed as father, no one.
None. Nobody up there.
Narrator, so where does this leave us? Miss Brown's devastated, thinking her father is rejecting her after a lifetime of belief. Mr. Burks, well, he's caught in a whirlwind of guilt, military secrets, and a whole lot of drama. But hey, the truth, it's about to come out in a big way.
There is an order establishing the parent-child relationship, and you are responsible for child support.
Yeah.
So, at some point, did you acknowledge paternity, or was there a court case that you didn't show up?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what happened.
So you're named the father by default?
I was away.
Narrator, the courtroom goes quiet as Judge Lake drops the final decision. Mr. Burks is declared the father, but that's just the beginning. Now the real work begins, mending a fractured relationship full of missed chances, hurt feelings, and a whole lot of yelling.
Always drama. He gets into it with my other siblings or whatever, and he goes back, tell me, he gets into it with me, goes back, he's mad at me, so he goes back and talk about me. He has the problem. It's him. And I'm not gonna sit here, and I told him the last time we had an argument.
And just when you thought things couldn't get messier, Mr. Burks' wife, Nicole, steps into the mix. You know what they say? Every story has another side, and Nicole is giving us the inside scoop. She spills that she's always had her doubts about Miss Brown being part of the family. Apparently, Miss Brown doesn't just rub Mr. Burks the wrong way, but also has a knack for getting under Nicole's skin. According to Nicole, Miss Brown's disrespect only grew after she came out. Is this really about blood, or has it been about some serious family tension bubbling under the surface all these years?
When I was younger, I did, you know what I'm saying? But now that I got older, when I tell him things that's true and how he live his life and he ain't right, he hang up the phone. I tried to talk to him like an adult, and he hangs up the phone.
Ask my wife. I put her on speakerphone. She
ain't been in the picture all her life. She can only say what recently happened. She can't say.
Miss Brown isn't holding back, though. She accuses Mr. Burks of starting the drama by disrespecting her, especially after learning about her sexual orientation. Oh, and don't forget the cherry on top. Nicole tried to make things worse by saying, "You can come to my house, but no women or men allowed." Miss Brown just isn't having any of it. The tension in this family is thicker than a plot twist on your favorite drama show.
Mr. Burks,
yes, ma'am.
Let me just ask you a point-blank question. Is this about you don't believe she's your biological child, or is this just about you don't approve that she's gay?
No, that's fine. That's fine, but I don't go along with that lifestyle because, like I said, I'm a Christian man.
But wait, the plot thickens even more when Shadon, Mr. Burks' other daughter, takes the stand. She's not here for the drama, and she's setting the record straight. She's known Miss Brown as her sister for years and can't fathom how Mr. Burks could suddenly deny her now. The drama isn't just about Miss Brown, it's shaking the entire family to its core. And when Shadon brings up the whole God loves you no matter what angle, you can feel the collective mic drop moment.
Mr. Burks, you are the father.
See, I told you, and you sat up there and do me like this. That what you gonna do? See, it's all about my lifestyle. But you know what, after this?
Now, it's time for the moment of truth. Will the DNA test reveal Mr. Burks is the father? Or is this all just a web of lies, deceit, and family feuds? Judge Lake opens the envelope, and the suspense is unbearable. She delivers the verdict, and boom! Mr. Burks is confirmed as the father. Cue the gasps. And guess what? Miss Brown? She's ready to move on. She's done with the drama. But hold up, Mr. Burks can't seem to process it. His denial is still alive and kicking, and it's only adding fuel to the fire.
How do you feel, Mr. Robinson?
I feel great.
Good.
I feel great.
This woman is tearing up real bad in Judge Lauren's court like the unimaginable happened. Could she have cheated on the young man in the stand next to her, and the result turned out negative? Or she's regretting laying together with that man? Let's find out what led to that scene real quick.
Miss Shank, you claim that when your daughter Serenity turned 2, Mr. Robinson began to doubt paternity.
Yes, Your Honor.
And since then, you claim he's pulled away from your child, and it's now breaking your heart to watch her suffer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Shank is sad about Mr. Robinson pulling away from their supposed daughter together, but Mr. Robinson does not seem to be at fault for his reaction. Ms. Shank caused the problem within their small family as she put the doubt in Mr. Robinson's mind by saying he may not be the father. No man would hear that and would not flinch even a little bit.
So, Mr. Robinson, I want to understand what happened that changed everything for you as it relates to your little girl.
Well, Your Honor, up to 2 years of Serenity's life, I was there for her and Mrs. Shank until about 5 months. She was 5 months pregnant. She told me that I may not be her father.
Mr. Robinson really seems to be a cool and responsible man from his narration of being there for Ms. Schenk and the baby all along. However, things went south in the 5th month, after Ms. Schenk confessed she had slept with a friend. Who has a sexual relationship with just a friend? In this case, Ms. Schenk did. Mr. Robinson cannot be blamed for pulling back from Ms. Schenk and the baby.
And then about 5 months, what happened?
She told me that she had slept with a friend of mine and didn't know if I was the father or if he was the father.
So she came clean?
Yes, ma'am.
So Ms. Schenk, that happened?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please talk to me. Fill me in. When you found out you were pregnant, did you think he was the father, or did you know right off the bat there could possibly be another father?
I didn't know.
Wait a minute, it was even a friend of Mr. Robinson? Oh no, that's a different kind of pain for the young man. Having to guess if the child belongs to you or your friend is a whole different level. Anyway, Ms. Schenk seems to be emotional with her sob story of her on and off relationship with Mr. Robinson that led to her messing around. Ms. Schenk claimed to have used protection, but unfortunately, the protection did not last till the end of the intense action. Whew.
So, when you finally decided to tell Mr. Robinson the truth, fill me in on that, because Mr. Robinson says he was there for you. He was going to doctor's appointments. He thought he was having a child. And when did you decide to tell the truth?
5 months into my pregnancy, he had went through my phone and seen a text message I had sent to my cousin.
Ms. Schenk said it was just a one-time thing, which made her think that her daughter was fathered by Mr. Robinson. However, 5 months into the pregnancy, Ms. Schenk realized the dates didn't add up, and that made her confide in her cousin by revealing there was a 50-50 chance of her baby father. That must have been quite confusing at first, but Ms. Schenk knew what she did behind Mr. Robinson's back anyway.
She had slept with somebody else. That's what made me push myself away from Serenity.
What, you knew that it was a 50-50 chance when she was 5 months pregnant?
Yes, ma'am.
But you still said you'd be there?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, what? Ms. Schenk was more interested in getting the other guy tested and ignored Mr. Robinson that was there for her and the baby throughout the pregnancy period and after? Ms. Schenk says the baby didn't look anything like Mr. Robinson, hence Ms. Schenk's reason for wanting to test the other potential father. Okay, Ms. Schenk.
But you have another child together, and that child you say looks like him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you say Mr. Robinson now treats baby Serenity differently than your other child.
Yes.
Explain.
He'll call and talk to my son. Sometimes he'll talk to her, tell her he misses her and he loves her. And sometimes when he calls, like when he's with his family, he doesn't even ask to speak to Serenity.
Oh no, that's way too out of pocket. How come the other child Mr. Robinson is sure he birthed knows about the paternity situation with the other child? These grown folks are including the babies in their business, and that's completely wrong. Mr. Robinson and Ms. Schenk have some real explaining to do.
I think that Serenity looks like me. I have a picture of the both of us.
Jerome, will you hand me that, please? And this is, sir?
That is Serenity and myself.
As babies?
Yes, ma'am.
And you say you see a resemblance?
Yes, ma'am.
Regardless of the cards Mr. Robinson has been dealt concerning another man being in the picture, Mr. Robinson refutes the claim that baby Serenity does not look like him. Mr. Robinson even came with photos to prove to the judge that the baby indeed looks just like him. It seems Mr. Robinson loves the child after all.
So, Mr. Robinson, your mom sent in a video statement, and we'd like to hear from her.
I think that Serenity may not be Jamario's daughter because Brittany went out and cheated on Jamario with one of his friends or associates that he knew. So, and then she told Jamario that the child wasn't his.
Mr. Robinson's mother witnessed her son go through a difficult time after he found out about Ms. Schenk's shenanigan. Mr. Robinson's mother even prompted him to not be too close with the child in case of the outcome of the DNA result. Anyway, Mr. Robinson is so interested in being the baby's biological father, as he said he wishes the baby is his. So now let's find out if his wishes would come true.
When it comes to 2-year-old Serenity Schenk, Jamario Robin is her father.
Mistakes made decades ago can haunt one forever, and to make matters worse, the consequences might come when you're getting older and unable to right the wrongs that have been made. In this case, Ms. Robinson will be watching how her parents take digs at each other to prove who's right or wrong.
Ms. Robinson, you and your mother have opened your case today in hopes of giving you closure.
Yes.
You say you've always known the defendant was your father, and his denial has crushed you. Once you prove that he is your dad, you hope he will finally accept you. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson has her mother standing next to her in the same stand as they are both in court to prove Mr. Rollins is Ms. Robinson's biological father. Ms. Robinson claimed it's been pathetic how Mr. Rollins has denied her since she could remember, and she just wants this phase to be over with. However, Mr. Rollins would rather chew stone than agree that he is indeed Ms. Robinson's biological father, as he claims her mother had a thing with multiple men back in the day.
Your Honor, it affected me real bad. Like, I feel like that he wasn't responsible to even say I'm his daughter or not.
And so for 24 years, you've had to deal with this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Palmer, all her life you have been telling her that Mr. Rollins is her biological father?
Yes, Mom.
You've never told her any other man was her biological father?
No.
And you've never gotten any level of recognition or acknowledgement from him?
No, I haven't.
Ms. Robinson must have had a sad childhood, seeing how she narrates that her supposed father has always denied her. Ms. Palmer, who is Ms. Robinson's mother, says Mr. Rollins never gave her or her daughter the chance of being a part of his family, even in the slightest way. While these two are being emotional, Mr. Rollins isn't changing his testimony that he's 1,000% certain he is not the father of 24-year-old Ms. Robinson. Mr. Rollins seems to know something we don't know. Let's dig deeper into this.
Did you ever have an occasion to visit Mr. Rollins, Ms. Robinson, or did you run into him?
When I was 9, I was on the school bus. My mama and him was on the porch. So when I had got off the school bus, I went upstairs, seen them talking, went and put my book bag down, ran back, talked to my mama, and I asked her, who was that man? She was like, that's your father. So I was like, are you sure that's my father? And she was like, yeah, that's your father.
To be fair, Ms. Robinson has a point. Mr. Rollins claimed Ms. Palmer slept with multiple men back in the day, and since Mr. Rollins was part of those multiple men, there's really a chance he could be Ms. Robinson's biological father, and he could have said there's a chance when the 9-year-old Ms. Robinson asked him. Mr. Rollins didn't have to shatter a child's heart just like that, but maybe he was just really avoiding responsibility or being in contact with Ms. Robinson at all.
Tell me what you remember.
She was just kind of observing me when I was looking at her, and I said to myself, and I also said to Ms. Palmer, that we had no resemblance. Why would you keep engaged?
You should have to have resentment of you for to be your child. Ain't nobody resentment of all their parents,
She
right?
had to have the same bloodline.
No.
We finna see today, though.
Okay, we will.
Do you remember a 9-year-old child saying to you, are you my daddy? Do you remember that?
I remember a child observing me.
Mr. Rollins says he does not have the memory of that particular conversation with Ms. Robinson, but he did remember a child observing him. Maybe Ms. Palmer should have made things clear since she had Ms. Robinson by having Mr. Rollins do a DNA test instead of continuously telling her Mr. Rollins is her father. But Mr. Rollins really went out of line by questioning the child that didn't ask to be born about a DNA tester or something.
But let me ask you this question, Your Honor.
Please do.
After the truth and everything, will the tables turn on her? The mother, that's who I'm talking about.
No, listen.
I'm looking like the deadbeat.
No. You're taking on a level of guilt that nobody is really putting on you. They're telling you their side of the story, and you're telling yours.
Okay, Mr. Rollins does not want to look like a deadbeat father in front of Ms. Robinson or the entire court. That's fine, but nobody said he was in the first place. Mr. Rollins seems to be really onto something, seeing how he's got into it with Judge Lauren, but just like Judge Lauren said, she is going to win that verbal contest for sure if there's one.
Mr. Rollins, that encounter where you saw Ms. Robinson, what was your reaction once you saw her?
Honestly, I looked at her and I already knew if she really took time out to pursue the other people that were involved with this.
Wasn't no other people involved.
Mr. Rollins, who were the other people involved?
I'm not a name dropper,
You don't have to drop the name.
but I have associates.
Mr. Rollins says he isn't a name dropper, but he has associates. Associates? This ain't no law firm. Mr. Rollins, just like Ms. Palmer, we want to know what associates are in this context and how they are related to the situation on ground.
Who are you talking about? What do you know?
The thing is, I can't prove it right now.
Okay.
But the only thing I can do is verbally tell you.
Verbally stated.
She had multiple parts. She was multitasking.
No, I was not. You probably were multitasking. I know I would.
You're saying in a polite way she was having sex with more than one man during that time.
Exactly.
And you know that for a fact because these men were associates of yours?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rollins can't provide evidence in papers or videos, but he can, verbally. And that's how he knows for sure that Ms. Palmer was multitasking when they had a thing together. Okay, that's a polite way to say it, as the judge mentioned, but Ms. Palmer insists that's not true because she only had one other man. However, she had tested with the other man, and that is not Ms. Robinson's father, and the only other possibility is Mr. Rollins. Who?
I observed it.
Whoa, excuse me?
Yes, I observed it.
Tell me what happened.
Look, I know her walk from anywhere. And it was dark. She wiggling down the street. In the backyard, my partner to one of my partners how she went. So I waited 40 minutes. When I come back, I thought 2 dogs back there fighting or something. That was them rolling around in Bermuda grass.
We have to give it to Mr. Rollins. He's a funny guy, and maybe that was the reason Miss Palmer fell for him back in the day. Anyway, Mr. Rollins says he allegedly caught Miss Palmer on one of her escapades, and that seals the fate of her multitasking at the time she conceived, which further proves he is not the biological father to Ms. Robinson. It's time to know who's lying. Is it Miss Palmer or the funny Mr. Rollins?
Mr. Rollins, you are not the father.
Well,
you are not the father.
Baby, I'm sorry.
It was just my mistake, but I know I didn't sleep with nobody else.
Well, we know that that's a lie.
Cheating can easily ruin a relationship, but people don't always seem to remember that when they go frolicking around. Both parties can decide to part ways for good, but this isn't always the case when a child has been made from the relationship. Just like this case of Ms. Van Meter and Mr. Watkins.
Ms. Van Meter, after a recent medical scare, you realized it is imperative that you prove to the defendant that he is the biological father of your 3-year-old son, DeCedric, so you can put his name on the birth certificate. You are hopeful today's results will help save your family.
Ms. Van Meter claims her stepping outside of her relationship with Mr. Watkins has caused trouble in her home, and the mess is about to be a lot bigger if the DNA result comes back negative. On the other hand, Mr. Watkins does not want to reignite any flame as he's walking out of the relationship as soon as he hears that he is not the biological father of Ms. Van Meter's son.
Ms. Van Meter, what is the current status of your relationship?
We are not in a relationship. We just live together at the moment.
Okay.
We broke up because of the simple fact that I cheated, and he has just stayed and he's been there throughout everything, throughout the whole birth, throughout my son being 3 now. He's just played his dad the whole time.
Simple fact? Ms. Van Meter said her cheating was just a simple fact, which is worrisome, but okay. Mr. Watkins can't be blamed for behaving in some kind of way after he got cheated on when he has to take care of the whole crew of Ms. Van Meter's kids without a father. Mr. Watkins said he has stayed all this while just because he grew up without a father, and he wouldn't want the child to have the same sad experience he had.
How did you find out she was cheating?
Well, I saw her on the couch texting, but I could clearly see what she's doing. She's texting and deleting messages. And she's like, oh, I was just talking to my friend. What you deleting messages for? Then she pretty much was arguing about it, the fact of what she was saying, and I was like, you wasn't saying that because you deleted them. So I left, just cool down, because I don't like sticking around arguing about nothing.
Doing what she was doing? That was a nice way to put it, Mr. Watkins. But the back of the car while you were in a relationship and your supposed partner around? Ms. Van Meter definitely has some nerve to be able to pull that off. However, Ms. Van Meter said it wasn't planned, as it just happened in the heat of the moment. The spontaneous act had an immediate consequence since Ms. Van Meter was caught in the act.
So, Mr. Watkins, you're riding in the car.
Yeah.
How do you find out that it's the guy with the text messages?
Well, she told me who it was, who the actual person was.
I was going to tell him when he got
and then
there.
My whole thing was, you said it was a friend. You said it was a friend, right?
Kissing may also be a part of being intimate with a person, Ms. Van Meter. Ms. Van Meter says the first she had sex with her supposed ex-boyfriend was that time she was caught in the car with him. It sounds unbelievable, but Ms. Van Meter wants us to believe that. So okay, but it does not look like Mr. Watkins is ready to take that story into consideration.
But my point is, Ms. Van Meter, you do have this sexual encounter, and then you find out you're pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
How long after that?
Maybe a week or 2 after the fact. I don't remember the exact date, but when I had sex with him, I did use protection.
Ms. Van Meter's story seems to be really confusing because how does she keep mixing up if she and her ex used protection or not when she's telling the story? Mr. Watkins must have been going through a lot before coming to paternity court to know if he is the biological father of Ms. Van Meter's 3-year-old son or not.
So I just see him as just a cute kid. He's cute and he's awesome. And we play fight all the time. Sometimes he don't know when to stop. So I'm like, man, all right, he done.
So, Mr. Watkins, when you look at DeCedric, do you see the other guy in him?
Yeah, I do.
He looks nothing like the other person. He looks like him.
Mr. Watkins' other reason for doubting the paternity of the child is that he does not feel a father and son bond between them, even though he's close to the child. Mr. Watkins also believes the child looks like the other guy. Mr. Watkins also claims to be somewhat infertile, and to top it all off, Mr. Watkins revealed the scan and calculation of when the baby was conceived dates back to when Ms. Van Meter had a sexual encounter with her ex at the back of a car. All of these is enough to wrap it all up, but a DNA testing is a better choice.
Ever told the other guy he potentially was DeCedre's biological father?
I ran into him when my son was 3 months old, and he asked me if I ever found out if my son was his or not, and I told him that I did because I didn't want him involved.
Ms. Van Meter keeps making the entire situation messy, just for her own selfish reasons. Ms. Van Meter lied to the other potential father of her child because she believes Mr. Watkins is a better choice of father for her kids. Maybe it's reasonable to Ms. Van Meter, but it's so wrong because no one forced Ms. Van Meter to have a sexual relationship with the other potential father to her child.
Then why would you throw the other guy off the trail?
Because I love him and I do want our relationship to work. It's not like that I don't care if he leaves or not, because it would hurt me. It really would. I do love him and I care about him, but I don't want him to feel like he's trapped.
So the truth is, you do want your relationship work.
Yes, I do.
Ms. Van Meter wanted all of these, and she was still so confident to cheat on Mr. Watkins, not even at a far place right in front of their apartment. Seems Ms. Van Meter was hallucinating when the deed was done. Anyway, Ms. Van Meter's reason for wanting to get this done is because she wants her relationship to work, and most importantly, she has cancer, and she wants her child to know his father before anything would happen to her. Alright, that's fair enough. Let's find out.
Mr. Watkins, you are the father.
That's my boy right there. No wonder he's so damn bad.
That's funny. I've never heard that, but Mr. Watkins,
Jealousy can put you in a situation you'd hate when you finally calm down, but barely in the history of someone being told to calm down has it ever worked until they satisfy themselves and begin to regret their action. Don't get it wrong, that's just a part of the story in this case, not the entire story. We are still on psycho moments on paternity court.
Ms. Matthews, you admit to having an extremely complicated relationship with the defendant, Mr. Moore. Now you say you're here today to prove that he is your 3-year-old daughter Zania's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Moore, you argue Ms. Matthews was having an affair with another man and say she waited to notify you about her pregnancy because she was uncertain.
Extremely complicated relationship is a far reach when you know you are the violent one. But okay, Ms. Matthews, complicated relationship. It is. Mr. Moore says he is uncertain he's the one that fathered Ms. Matthews' daughter, and in fact, she's owing him some bucks for smashing his windshield in a jealous rage. Now that's a double blow for Ms. Matthews because even if Mr. Moore is the father of her child, she may still need to pay up for destroying a part of his car.
Extremely. There's no contact. I made sure that it wasn't going to be any contact till I found out for certain that was my daughter.
All right.
For Neat, in the beginning, we were cool. When I met her, she was a party girl, all the way up to date.
Okay, so then you started a sexual relationship.
Yep.
From being a party girl to being in a committed relationship? Well, anyone can change. Okay, Mr. Moore says they kept their shit together as they used protection all the time, except for one time that he was probably out of it like he mentioned. One time is enough, Mr. Moore. But then again, Ms. Matthews didn't tell him about it until 4 months later. That's suspicious according to Mr. Moore, but Ms. Matthews said she wasn't sure about the status of the baby.
Oh, I didn't show you the papers?
I got these papers.
Papers of what?
Her uploading pictures with the guy who was presumably, he could be the dad.
Okay, Jerome, let me see that evidence Mr. Moore is presenting. So let me understand this. You say this is Ms. Matthews kissing another man.
Yeah.
During the time that you thought you were together.
Yep.
Oh, common. This seems to be a battle of picture evidence, seeing how Ms. Matthews and Mr. Moore keep raising different R-rated pictures in paternity court. Ms. Matthews says she reciprocated Mr. Moore's behavior, and concerning the broken window, Ms. Matthews agrees that she indeed broke that window because she was pissed about the other woman with a smart mouth.
I put the picture on Instagram. He came to my job, bust a window. He had to get escorted by Cleveland police. He almost got me fired. I was suspended for 3 weeks with no pay with your child, and you didn't help and do nothing.
Your Honor, she left out the part about her being with her ex, though.
Maybe these two are a perfect fit from heaven, since Mr. Moore also broke a window at Ms. Matthews' workplace and had to be escorted away by the cops. Ms. Matthews has openly admitted in court she broke the car window. She should be ready to pay up for the damages by now.
Please stand.
Hi, Your Honor.
Hello, step up to the podium. Your name is?
Miss Thomas.
Miss Thomas, why do you have doubt that your uncle is the father of Miss Matthews' child?
Because Miss Matthews, she gets around. The whole hood knows her. It's nothing new. When he told me he started dating her and she was pregnant, I just started laughing because, like, you don't know how many other dudes she done told this to before.
Mr. Moore's niece is standing next to him and also giving her testimony that Ms. Matthews indeed gets around and it's a popular gossip in their neighborhood. Ms. Matthews isn't cool with that, and now there's a verbal scuffle between the two women. Oh well.
Different other
That's
guys
'cause of
in the
me.
hood,
That's
daddy.
'cause of me.
What did you just say? She calls 3 other dudes in the neighborhood that we live in daddy.
Zanaya.
Not my uncle. Yes. It's
Three,
Your
wait.
Honor,
Your Honor.
Zanaya calls 3 other men
3
daddy?
other men's daddy.
That just sounds ridiculous.
Wait,
You're
Miss
ridiculous.
Matthews,
What do you
hold
mean?
on, Miss Matthews.
Don't argue.
Is that true?
No,
Does
Your
Zanaya
Honor,
call
no.
anyone else daddy?
The only person she called daddy is her 2 papas. That me granddaddy, Your Honor.
Oh.
A 3-year-old is calling 3 other men daddy? That's insane. Ms. Matthews must have really been around, even though Ms. Matthews says that's a lie as she only refers to her granddad like that. Okay, Ms. Matthews.
Ms. Matthews, who signed the birth certificate?
My name is on the birth certificate. It's right here, Your Honor, if you'd like to see it.
Please. Jerome, will you hand me the birth certificate? So you've handed me a copy of Zanaya's
Yes.
birth certificate, and listed under mother's name is, of course, your name.
Yes.
And father's name is
Question
blank.
mark, nothing. Yes, blank.
Mr. Moore did not sign on the birth certificate, which is a wise thing to do in case he turns out to not be the father of the baby, but Ms. Matthews seems to be angry about that. You can't blame him. Those rumors really have a way of getting into a person's head.
I'm not trying to say she's a bad parent. I'm here for one thing and one thing only. I need to find out if I'm her father. You know?
Ms. Matthews,
Because
is there
if not,
any reason Mr. Moore would have to doubt? I mean, truthfully,
No.
is there any reason?
No, I go to work 7 days a week. I don't have no breaks. I gotta pay for a babysitter every time I go to work. I don't never have no me time. And for them to be saying all that stuff, my daughter be dirty, all that, that's impossible.
Mr. Moore just wants to know if he's the biological father to Miss Matthews' baby before he accepts her. But Ms. Matthews says she does not need anything from him except for the acceptance since she works all day, every day. Let's get to the results.
Well, in open court, Ms. Matthews, you admit
yes, I did.
that you broke the window intentionally. Therefore, you are responsible. You cannot. So for that reason, my ruling is for the defendant for $285. Are we clear? Now moving on to the DNA results. Mr. Moore, you are not her father.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. I'm done.
The results of having an affair are easy to predict, and one of them that happens most of the time is pregnancy, and that's what has come out to play in Judge Lauren's court today.
Ms. Lima, you admit to making a huge mistake and hope it doesn't affect your baby Christina. You had an affair with Mr. Anderson, who is married, and believe he's your daughter's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Lima agrees to having an affair with Mr. Anderson, and as both of their luck would have it, the result of their affair is a beautiful baby girl. However, while Ms. Lima is hoping Mr. Anderson is her baby's biological father, Mr. Anderson hopes he's not the baby's biological father because his home will be ruined if he is. He should have thought of that though.
How you got yourself into this mess?
Yes, Your Honor. It all started from a Facebook message when Mr. Anderson was messaging me on Facebook. So we started being friends online for about a year and a half. Then out of the blue one day, he called me and said, let's go out for dinner. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not doing anything, so why not? We went out to dinner and we got a hotel room that night. We had sex. Your Honor.
Girlfriend of a year and wife of 10 years? Oh wow. Mr. Anderson must have been working overtime. It's really not easy to satisfy one woman, not to talk of 2 women. Mr. Anderson approached Ms. Lima, and this makes the entire blame shift to Mr. Anderson. Except we are missing something.
I'm just sorry, Your Honor. I just want to say I'm sorry to my wife and my family and my kids.
I believe you are sorry.
Your Honor, it was a big mistake. And, I really want my marriage and I want my marriage to work. But
And I see your wife next to you, and I feel her pain.
Mr. Anderson seemed to have stepped out of his marriage because of one bad argument, but Mr. Anderson has been married long enough to know arguments are a part of marriage. Even friends or co-workers argue all the time and settle. Anyway, Mr. Anderson says it was just one night they had a sexual encounter, but Ms. Lima says it was on numerous nights.
You never saw her again?
Never saw her again.
Ms. Lima?
That's wrong, Your Honor. That's wrong.
How often would you see Mr. Anderson?
We've seen each other for 2 years, every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays.
Was it strange to you that you only saw him on Saturdays and Sundays, or you thought he was working during the week?
Not really, because I went to his house numerous of times, but...
Wait, excuse me. You went to his house numerous times?
Yes.
Ow, Mr. Anderson seems to be the liar because Miss Lima is so confident, and with the way Mr. Anderson's wife is reacting to everything being said, it's like she really wouldn't hesitate to throw Mr. Anderson out of the house if he is the biological father of the baby.
So you become pregnant.
Yes.
And when you find out you're pregnant, who do you tell?
I went to Mr. Anderson at first. I went to his family at first. I couldn't contact him, so I went to his family and I got rejected by them. So I was like, well, you know, that really hurted me. So I was just like, well, let me move to the other person that I had sex with during that time.
Oh, there's another man. Now, Miss Lima seems shady a little bit, but another man does not cancel Mr. Anderson from being one of the potential fathers. And again, Mr. Anderson had sex with Miss Lima when they met up during the pregnancy? That's wild because he's been going on and on about loving his wife and children so much.
You are Mr. Anderson's wife?
Yes.
Thank you for enduring very difficult testimony. I know that was hard for you to hear.
Yes, it was, Your Honor.
Has the testimony you heard today been different from the understanding you've had?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Anderson seems to be in a lot of pain, judging by her expression and the testimony she has heard in court. There's also the fact that her husband has lied to her so much, just like he's lying in court. 5 kids and a business with this type of man must be heart-wrenching for Ms. Anderson. Sorry doesn't cut it for real, Mr. Anderson.
But it really, really hurts. And just to know that there could be another baby in my family, like, come on.
And truthfully, your marriage is on the line because
my
of
marriage is past on the line. I can't. And then he's sitting up here. First he said it's one time, now it's numerous of times. You understand? I knew it when she told me what was in my house.
Sorry can't fix this, just like Ms. Anderson said. There's a possible addition to the family with so much lies and hurt that could break anyone. However, Mr. Anderson thinks being remorseful and saying sorry many times would fix it all.
Mr. Scott, thank you for being here. Ms. Lima has told us she was also in a sexual relationship with you during the time she was in a sexual relationship with Mr. Anderson. So you could possibly be this child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
What was the situation?
Well, the situation was when I first met Mrs. Lima, we met at a gas station. Come February, I took her flowers to a job site, took her out to eat on Valentine's Day, and then in March we had a sexual intercourse.
The other seemed to be a sweet guy with his roses on Valentine's Day and all. Even after he was told about the pregnancy, Mr. Scott was fine until he heard about Mr. Anderson being in the picture. So who's the real daddy going to be? Mr. Anderson or Mr. Scott?
Mr. Scott, you are not her father.
You just stay right here.
Pertaining to whether Mr. Anderson is the father of 1-year-old Christina, Mr. Anderson.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are not her father.
There can't be. Oh my God.
Plaintiffs lie, defendants lie, DNA does not lie.
Coming to paternity court with other folks to defend your case can only mean one thing, and we are about to find out what that is in Mr. Webb and Ms. Cole's case.
Mr. Webb, you and your girlfriend say there's no chance whatsoever that you fathered the defendant's 6-month-old daughter, Majestic. You say your evidence will shock this courtroom. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Webb is in paternity court with his girlfriend of 3 years, claiming the DNA test result will shock everyone, like anyone was there when the deed was done. Anyway, Ms. Cole is also present in court with her mother as she claims Mr. Webb is denying paternity of the child to save his 3 years relationship.
All right, so Mr. Webb, how can you be so certain you are not this child's biological father?
I never had sex with her, Your Honor.
Well, that would rule you out. You've never had sex with her?
No.
Yeah, he did.
She's a liar. She's crazy.
Ms. Cole, we've heard a lot of defenses in this courtroom. Rarely have we ever heard that you've never had sex with her.
She's absolutely crazy.
Huh? How come Mr. Webb never had sex with Ms. Cole, but he's in paternity court? That's confusing. Ms. Cole says Mr. Webb did have sex with her when he was at her house. Ms. Cole is so sure as she even mentioned the date it happened.
Mr. Webb, this is strange. What was the nature of your relationship?
We never had sex or anything. We were just friends. We would chill out. That was it.
You were never intimate with her in any way?
I never stayed in her bedroom. I stayed out on the couch.
That's a lie.
And on top of that, I was only there for a week and a half.
That's not true.
It's getting heated in there. Mr. Webb says Ms. Cole is crazy, like she's a delusional person that is just trying to make things up. However, Ms. Cole says that's a lie, and they did in fact get down together. Mrs. Cole's mother also enters the conversation with a victim attitude towards Mr. Webb, talking about how her family took care of him. Okay, ma'am.
So, Miss Cole, you said you and your husband were taking care of Mr. Webb?
Yes, and my grandkids and anybody else that needed.
You're a liar.
You are a liar.
You are a liar. Everything that you're saying. She was on the phone with me 5-6 times a day.
Why was Mr. Webb living with you?
He's a punk bum. We supplied everything for them. Their food, everything.
Damn, that came out of nowhere. Mr. Webb's girlfriend is not taking it easy with Miss Cole. Mr. Webb claimed his girlfriend knew he was at Miss Cole's house, and he claimed his girlfriend knew he wasn't the type to do what he's being accused of. That's a good level of trust, but Miss Webb's girlfriend said she doubted it for a minute before she shook it off and chose to believe her man again.
I never knew they were talking. We didn't even know that I never knew. You didn't know we had
5 or 6 times a day. How did you not know?
She's the one that called me with his friend.
She had heard her voice in the background numerous times. How does that make sense?
So you're over there hanging out, partying, because you're friends with Miss Cole.
He had multiple friends there when they had the party.
And what you're saying is you never ended up being intimate with her, like she's saying.
All right, where did you sleep?
Mrs. Cole claimed Mr. Webb slept in her bed one particular night, but Mr. Webb denies that, as he claimed, he slept on the couch. It looks like Ms. Cole doesn't have a clear picture of how things went down at her house. They were partying all week. Ms. Cole's parents' house has got to be the party house of the year.
But just hinting, not actually saying it.
All right.
Okay, so here's the second one. This is what came next. I told her, I said, I'm not trying to be mean, I just want this to end. Because I'm not a mean person, I'm not a hateful person. But when it comes to her and what she's put me through with the lies the last year, I can't take it no more. She had sent me a message back saying, by what the doctor is saying, the due date matched to when we blinked, that's all I'm going by.
Saying an ultrasound 3D photo resembles a full-grown adult? Okay, maybe there's a tiny chance that Ms. Cole is out of it. It's not certain if Mr. Webb had a thing with Ms. Cole yet, but Ms. Cole seems to really want to put this baby on Mr. Webb. That's a good plan, but Mr. Webb's girlfriend would fight tooth and nail for that to never happen.
Did he ever acknowledge that he was the father?
He admitted to my
you are a liar.
He admitted to my cousin that he was the dad.
What do you think, Mr. Webb, is Miss Cole's motive if you say you've never slept with her? Why manufacture all of this?
I think she's obsessed with me. She's obsessed with me or something.
No.
I don't know what it is. I've been trying to figure out
There's
for the
one
last
reason
year.
why I'm here. To know for sure he's the dad.
It has to be an obsession for real. Ms. Cole even had another sexual partner, and she says the baby looks just like Mr. Webb. There's another potential father, but it doesn't seem like Ms. Cole is ready to explore that option. Mr. Webb says he's Puerto Rican, and that baby doesn't look like one.
She made herself believe these lies that she's telling.
But Mr. Webb says he never slept with you.
And he did.
But he did.
For sure, yeah. It was a lousy, 20 minutes. I'm so sorry, Your Honor.
Okay, there was 2 witnesses there that said that they never had sex at the party.
The night that she said that we had sex or whatever, 2 of our friends were there. One of them were her family members, and even he said that.
There are even witnesses that say Ms. Cole and Mr. Webb didn't get intimate. Maybe that's not enough evidence to convince everyone nothing happened, but it is worth noting. And describing Mr. Webb's winkers? Okay, it's time to find out if these 2 really did have a lousy 20 minutes like Ms. Cole stated, or Mr. Webb is right about Ms. Cole making things up all along.
Mr. Webb, you are not her father.
Oh, yeah, you're crazy. You need to go to a mental hospital.
Ms. Webb.
There, get her there, get her there.
Anyone's family should be off limits for a man or woman, even if he or she wants to step outside of their marriage or relationship. But some folks think that's the best place to seek solace when something is missing in their relationship. It never ends well, just like in the case of Ms. Douglas and Mr. Jones.
Ms. Douglas, you are suing the father of your 5 children for a paternity test. You claim at times the defendant, Mr. Jones, doesn't treat your daughter, Cheyenne, as his own, and that he has always been suspicious he's not her biological father. You admit that you kept a secret from him and you cheated on him with his cousin, but say when that secret finally came out, he immediately denied fathering your daughter.
Ms. Douglas agreed to have slept with Mr. Jones's cousin, but Ms. Douglas is affirmative that Mr. Jones still fathered the child. He's doubting her paternity. However, Mr. Jones said that's impossible, and he's even tired of working 2 jobs to fend for his family, just to be welcomed with his woman laying with his cousin. That's a nasty work right there.
Do you believe the defendant had has reason to doubt paternity of Cheyenne?
Yes, Your Honor, I do, because I did make a mistake. I slept with his cousin, and the condom had broke. But before that, Tyrone was downstairs sleeping with my cousin. He was still having sex with his baby's mom. He was doing him, basically, but yeah, I did.
That was a mouthful.
Oh, Common, sleeping with each other's cousins? There's got to be another way to get rid of your sexual desires, but Ms. Douglas and Mr. Jones would need a handbook on that. Ms. Jones claims she doesn't believe in cheating, but Mr. Jones does, and that was what pushed her to do it too. Okay.
I met Tyrone actually at a party that happened downstairs in my building. I met him and his cousin almost the same night. Me and Tyrone got together the first night we watched movies. The next night we did have sex, but we weren't together. We just had sex, and after that he went back to his other baby's mom. And then I met his cousin, and I slept with his cousin, but we weren't together. So yeah, I slept with his cousin, but after that I found out I was pregnant. I called him and I told him I was pregnant.
Ms. Douglas is not holding back as she keeps reminding the court she slept with Mr. Jones's cousin. Mrs. Douglas gives Mr. Jones his flowers that he's been a good dad since the week before the birth of the baby, but there seems to be many kids in this equation from both Ms. Douglas and Mr. Jones' sides.
What did you feel, Mr. Jones, when you heard Ms. Douglas say, "I'm pregnant and it's yours"?
I wasn't too sure about it when she told me, but I'm like, okay, when she did tell me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna step up and do what I gotta do.
So you did try to support her through this?
Yeah, I actually did.
We are still stuck on Ms. Douglas giving an account of her sexual encounter with Mr. Jones's cousin. Ms. Douglas was going to deny it forever, but it seems she got tired when her daughter was 2 years old. Mr. Jones sniffing his cousin cologne was on another level. That's some detective work right there. Somebody better hint Mr. Jones to join the academy.
I mean, I cared, but it was just to the point to where when I met her, she was pregnant by another guy who was actually incarcerated at the time, but she was also messing around with another guy who wasn't the father of the child she was pregnant with.
Was it any part of you that was excited? Did you?
I mean, it was, because I actually was there.
There's a whole lot of messing around going on here. Ms. Douglas messing around with everybody and anybody. There's also Mr. Jones caught up in another woman's web who is trying to prove she controls him and shove that in Ms. Douglas' face. Interesting.
I recall saying you had 5 children?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's as if you're speaking about this thing like it's, oh yeah, because I was with my other child's mother and I just went on to Chicago and then he went there. And, I mean, you all 5 children potentially together.
It has got to be some baby-making factory business like Judge Lawrence said. No committed relationship and 5 babies have been made? Oh, Lord have mercy. Hopefully those children won't grow up traumatized. These two don't even look like they love each other. They just want to have fun for 5 minutes and then boom, a baby. Till baby number 5. That's pathetic.
You two supposed to be trying to be in a relationship right now?
We was, but yesterday he was texting a girl on Facebook, writing a girl on Facebook. We supposed to be together. We're working on us for our kids, and you're writing somebody on Facebook? And now he's trying to say, well, now he said, I don't even know if I should get a DNA test for the twins because you had sex with somebody when you were pregnant with my twins. When I was pregnant with your twins. So how is that their baby?
Just when we thought we've heard it all. Ms. Jones loves anything on skirts or jeans preferably. These cousins also don't have any dignity because when Mr. Jones and Ms. Douglas are ready to do something stupid, the cousins are always readily available.
How in the world can you potentially have 5 children with this woman and be so irresponsible and disrespectful that you continue to sleep with her
favorite cousin? No way Ms. Douglas is this grown, and she just said that was her favorite cousin. These two grown-ups don't seem like they are ready to be in a committed relationship, but the paternity of a child is at stake here, so we will just deal with that one.
Mr. Jones, you are not
She knew this from the beginning. Now I'm embarrassed, gotta face public humiliation because she didn't want to be honest before we came here.
Men are constantly denying the paternity of children, while women are constantly claiming these men have fathered their children. One thing is certain, one of them ends up being right, while another ends up being wrong. Is it going to be Mr. Wiggins that will be wrong and Ms. Davis will be right, or vice versa?
Mr. Wiggins, you are here in court to prove that you are not the father of Ms. Davis' child, Aubrey Wiggins, and say today's results will change your life. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Davis, you claim that Mr. Wiggins knows he's the father of your child and is trying to deny her because he already has 3 children and doesn't want to step up and be a father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wiggins says he's sure he isn't the biological father of Ms. Davis's child, and the result in court will change his life, while Ms. Davis says Mr. Wiggins is just trying to get off the hook easily because he already has 3 children and he's not ready to add another child to the family. Mr. Wiggins is also willing to reunite his family and have a happily ever after life.
So, Mr. Wiggins, why do you say today's results will change your life?
As a result of being alleged the father of Aubrey, I lost my wife and I want to regain my family.
You lost your family? You were married at the time? Explain.
Yes, Your Honor, I was married and me and my wife went through a separation due to a rough patch. Through my separation, I became a little antsy, I guess, for lack of better terms.
2.5 years affair while being married? Mr. Wiggins' former wife would have thrown some punches if she was in court right now. Mr. Wiggins claimed it was just for sex, and he didn't plan for it to be as long as it did. Are we supposed to applaud him now for that confession? Mr. Wiggins was married and he wasn't coerced into the affair. He shouldn't be blaming Ms. Davis for the consequences of his actions.
So, Ms. Davis, you ended up starting a relationship with a married man. He was separated at the time.
Right.
Did you think you were in a relationship?
I was. I knew I was in a relationship.
You did?
2.5 years we was together.
I was telling her what I felt I needed to tell her to ultimately get what I wanted.
Mr. Wiggins mentioned he was telling Ms. Davis what he needed to tell her what she needed to hear so as to allow him get through and have what he wanted. Well, what Mr. Wiggins wanted was just sex. That's weird because he was getting the same sex from his wife. Mr. Wiggins betrayed his wife and he now desperately wanted the DNA result to come back negative to be able to fix his marriage.
How did your wife find out?
Miss Davis told her that she was pregnant and that she wasn't going anywhere. She inboxed her on Facebook, which caused a lot of havoc in my life.
You wasn't gonna be a man.
Did it cause the havoc or did you cause the havoc?
He did, right.
Mr. Wiggins talking about Ms. Davis wreaking havoc in his life, like he didn't bring that upon himself. Having a 2.5-year relationship with another woman outside of your marriage is enough havoc. Valentine's Day, and Mr. Wiggins still lays with Ms. Davis? Okay. Ms. Davis also seems to have some sketchy moves going on. Something about her talking to another man.
Yes, we did intend to plan Valentine's Day together. However, prior to us going to the hotel, we got into a bit of an altercation. I don't remember the exact details. And my family member seen her be picked up by another guy.
That was my cousin.
That she claims to be her cousin.
Maybe Ms. Davis does not have the right to be having a thing with another man since she claims she was in a committed relationship with Mr. Wiggins. But it's funny how Mr. Wiggins is angry when he left his own wife to be by herself on Valentine's Day. Ms. Davis may be wrong, but Mr. Wiggins doesn't have the right to be upset. He's also a cheat.
Your Honor, I'm no Einstein or anything, but I'm educated enough to know my own birth date. This is the birth certificate. Apparently she knew my name. This is the birth date that's listed on Aubrey's birth certificate.
Mr. Wiggins says he's not Albert Einstein, but he's sure as hell he's not going to forget his birthday to the point of putting a wrong date on the baby's birth certificate, noted Mr. Wiggins. Ms. Davis argued that he definitely said the wrong date and the mistake is on him, so he can't possibly use that against her.
I didn't need any more children.
He
I
wanted
didn't need
me
any more children.
Because of my body, and he wanted a baby from me.
That
to
is
keep
all I
me.
wanted, Your Honor.
Yes, you did.
Oh my goodness.
From day
so
one.
you're saying now he's a married man and he's asking you to have his child?
From day one.
Someone needs to tell Ms. Davis those are the lies men tell. Mr. Wiggins saying he wanted Ms. Davis to have his babies was just a lie to get in her pants. Just like Mr. Wiggins said, he saw the relationship as a sexual relationship and nothing committed. Can't blame Ms. Davis though, probably she thought she was in love.
Are you all still involved?
No, we're not, Your Honor. No, we're not, Your Honor.
At the same time, 2 different answers.
Right.
Exact same time.
Last night? Mr. Wiggins is a joke at this point. His lies are so obvious. Trying to work on your marriage and still slept with the mistress before coming to court? That's crazy. Maybe it's time to know if Mr. Wiggins will be able to fix his former marriage, which doesn't stand a chance, or if he's stuck with Ms. Davis forever.
Mr. Wiggins, you are the father. Miss Davis, what are you feeling?
I've been going through this for a long time, between him and his wife,
It's his child.
Both parties in paternity court wishing for the same outcome is not common, but Ms. Salvo and Mr. Gonzalez seem to have the same thoughts concerning the result. So where did it all go wrong?
Ms. Salvo, you claim that a relationship with the defendant, Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Today you say you desperately want to prove Mr. Gonzalez is her biological father because it will break your heart to grow up without a dad.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Salvo would give anything for the result to come back positive, indicating Mr. Gonzalez is the biological father of her child. On the other hand, Mr. Gonzalez is also wishing the result comes back saying he's the father, but Ms. Salvo has been so unfaithful to the point that he had a thing with multiple men and even Mr. Gonzalez's best friend.
How involved has Mr. Gonzalez?
Your Honor, I can't stand him. He knows Amaya, but he refuses to take care of him. I've never, ever had sex with any.
Ms. Salvo claims she loves her men black. That's cool, but here's Mr. Gonzalez saying it wasn't a drunken mistake, as their copulation more than 6 times, that's no mistake if it's true. Mr. Gonzalez is Hispanic, as he mentioned, and Ms. was willing to go on and on with him not once or twice, but 6 times. Maybe Ms. Salvo had a thing for Mr. Gonzalez in particular.
Tell me about the nature of this relationship.
I knew my mom. I knew Ashley. So we will go over, we'll drink, we'll watch movies and stuff. It led to another. We started kissing on each other. We went to the room. We had sex. I was thirsty.
Did you use protection?
No. I got up, get something to drink in the kitchen. When I opened the fridge, I was naked.
There was a fiance? Mr. Gonzalez had a fiance and he allowed one thing to lead to another with a different woman other than his fiance? Just like Ms. Salvo's mother said, wow. We are all wowed about this incident. Mr. Gonzalez was acted like he got caught up in a bad situation. At least he wasn't drunk like Ms. Salvo claimed she was.
This testimony, it's incorrect.
Yes, Your Honor. The whole part 6 times. Good, so why would I keep going?
So, Gonzalez, one time.
Yes.
The sex was protected or intention that sex beautiful Amaya.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Salvo claims she wasn't completely aware of the intimate session at first, but now she knows Mr. Gonzalez wasn't even that good in bed, and that was enough reason for her not to keep that kind of intimacy going with him. That's fair, but Ms. Salvo really did seem like she was aware of her surroundings when it happened, and there was another man within the window of conception.
So now, is that the only reason you excluded Amaya looked Hispanic and not black?
She has too much of him. She looks way too much. The shape of his eyebrows, that's him. Her nose. I have a picture that I can show you. They're just.
You're holding, ma'am?
It's a picture of my daughter with her one dimple.
Jerome.
One dimple similarity doesn't make the cut, but never say never. Ms. Salvo believes the other man couldn't be her baby's father because her baby resembles Mr. Gonzalez. And to Ms. Salvo, that's enough reason for her to know Mr. Gonzalez is her baby's biological father.
Well, you know the only way to truly is a DNA.
Yes, ma'am.
Test your ex at all?
I did test him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, and
he's not the father.
Oh yeah, that's the right thing to do, a DNA test. Well, Ms. Salvo said the DNA test result proved that the other man wasn't the father of her child. So she's supposedly left with Mr. Gonzalez considering Ms. Salvo didn't have any other sexual encounter with another man.
I took my best friend over there 5 days later. Get in the car with my best friend. He's Hispanic. He tells me, what you mean you gotta show me something? He showed me naked pictures of Ashley like this.
That was a vivid description of the photo in question. Okay, there's a possibility Mr. Gonzalez's friend is one of the potential fathers of Ms. Salvo's child. Ms. Salvo refuted the claim, saying it's a lie as she doesn't even send her naked photos to anyone. Well, the testimony was that he took the photos himself with his own phone, so...
One night I was over there and I got my hair done and she went out to the mall to, I don't know, supposedly go do something at the mall. She took hours and I'm like, I'm not just gonna call me, and she asked me why I left. Because I felt like I was getting played. He went to meet up with a guy.
And you know that for a fact?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gonzalez said he left because he felt he was getting played. Sorry about that, but thought Mr. Gonzalez had a fiance? Mr. Gonzalez is talking like he deserves any form of loyalty when he's also cheating. Anyway, Ms. Salvo seemed to have had many guys in her pocket, but what's important right now is to find out about the paternity of the little girl in the mix.
Mr. Gonzalez, it has been determined that you are not the father.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Can I still come around and help her out if I can? Because she's still going to be my daughter.
Marriage can be tricky because what is perceived as a revenge attack on one's partner can land someone in the biggest trouble of their life. Whether it's a man contracting STDs or a woman being unsure about who her exact baby daddy is. It's not so much of a safe zone, but let's see how this case goes.
Ms. Martin, you admit to making a huge mistake around the time you conceived your daughter, Royal Blue.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim that one moment of weakness will cost you your fiance if you cannot prove today that he fathered your child. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Martin's mistake is about to cost her everything if the DNA test result comes back saying her husband didn't father her baby. Mr. Pinner says he already has 1 foot outside of the marriage, and whatever the result says will finalize his decision.
Me and Romeo have no relationship because of the paternity of our daughter. I made one mistake back in the past that he knew about. And
the relationship is in turmoil.
Yes, he completely moved out of the bedroom. Like, he lives in my living room.
Mr. Pinner, you have one step out the door. You've already moved out the bedroom.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Martin says Mr. Pinner won't let go of the mistake she made a while ago, while Mr. Pinner claims that's not the main reason, but rather Ms. Martin's lies. Mr. Pinner already moved out of the bedroom because he doesn't want to share the bed with a dishonest person.
What was the mistake?
That I had a party one night and I had sex with another person. I did the very next morning, true, and he's acting like I never told him that.
Found out
You're
that she was
lying.
pregnant a month later. She said, well,
No.
I have something to tell you. I had sex with somebody, I had a party, and I woke up and I don't
Romeo, really?
know who the guy was.
There's so much talking going on, but at least we can deduce the mistake that was made. Ms. Martin had sex with another man, which she doesn't have a good memory of exactly how it happened, and Mr. Pinner thinks that's irresponsible of her. Yeah, maybe, but Ms. Martin can be let off the hook. That shit happens. Mr. Pinner also thinks the date is off since Ms. Martin allegedly told him long after it happened and not the day after, like she said.
Did you tell him the truth?
The day
What
after.
did you say?
I told him that I said, Romeo, last night I ended up having a party. I know we got heavily intoxicated, and I know as a woman agreed to move forward.
That's not true, Your Honor. It's true that I agreed to move forward after finding out that you was so irresponsible to have sex with somebody.
Ms. Martin is standing her ground that she did tell Mr. Pinner about the incident in which he even agreed to move forward and put the mess behind them. However, Mr. Pinner also supports the claim that he agreed to move forward, but what Mr. Pinner can't get past is Ms. Martin's irresponsibility for not knowing who she even had a thing with.
I know when it was.
So I don't know if she's mine or not.
But I'm not. But I'm telling you the truth. I told you the truth then, and I'm going to tell you the truth now.
Why
I've
would I
never lied
believe
about
you?
anything.
Why would I right after with which I know you never
The
did.
next
You told
morning,
me a
I had to
month
hunt him
later.
down. I called his mother, where he claimed he was staying, and I haven't seen Romeo in a few days. So
Mr. Pinner does not for certain who exactly fathered the child in question. Ms. Martin said she had a sexual encounter with Mr. Pinner 2 days after her drunken night experience with the other unknown man. This puts both men on the list of potential fathers, and hence the reason they are in paternity court at the moment.
That started this, or you all were already unwrapped, comes in, that just destroys the rest of what was there.
when I moved to Wisconsin with him, prior to me even moving, he was coming home. But then when we get up there, when I have no family, I have no anybody, nobody. So I'm like, I'm dependent on him for days.
Ms. Martin says Mr. Pinner caused the situation as he moved her to a new city and went MIA. Ms. Martin claims she had to look for a way to get by, which led to her making friends and partying. Mr. Pinner counters her claim, saying she was the one that made him leave the house, as she wasn't her usual self after giving birth. Whew, this is a tough one. Neither one of these two want to agree they both messed up their marriage, so okay.
Listen, let's not label the baby because she's innocent.
Of course.
Let's not label her because the only thing illegitimate here is the way you all have operated in this relationship.
Mr. Pinner is doing a great job at distracting everyone from his own faults. Mr. Pinner just casually says, I did something wrong in a second, and moves on so fast to talk about Miss Martin's mistakes and actions for minutes like he didn't start the mess. That's not fair, Mr. Pinner.
And trying, and you slapping
But
it
you
down.
lied to me.
I did.
And
Whatever. Don't
you
keep
made me
playing
feel
it.
stupid. And to me, I said that was
Whatever.
irresponsible.
How do you feel like she made you feel stupid?
She started partying, going out, and being a different person. I was trying to move forward. I don't want a bunch of guys around my child.
Mr. Pinner keeps playing the victim, and one can only applaud Ms. Martin for her patience at this point. Ms. Martin's action also wasn't right, but that woman left her job, family, and her town to move with Mr. Pinner. That has got to count for something. That's a very big decision, but Mr. Pinner doesn't seem to care so much about that, and he keeps acting like he was so perfect in the relationship. It's time to get the result to know if this relationship can still be fixed or it's over.
Mr. Pinner, you are the father.
It's
I'm
over.
sorry. I'm so
It's
sorry.
finally over.
I'm so sorry. From the bottom of my heart, I'm so sorry.
This has been so hard.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I just
Can I give her a
wanna
hug,
move
Your Honor?
forward. It's all right.
Either it's tears of joy or tears of regrets. There's always one that happens in paternity court, but who knows which one exactly is making this woman cry profusely? Is she crying about a I said so moment or otherwise? Who knows? Ms. Cole and Mr. Gilbert are in paternity court for the same reasons as everyone that stays in the stand. They are here to know who the actual father of a baby is, and who knows what's going to be the outcome of the case. Let's find out.
5 months pregnant, and both you and your mother claim there is no doubt as to whose baby you are carrying. Ms. Cole, you admit to sleeping with multiple men. However, you are 100% certain that Mr. Gilbert is the father of your unborn child. Is that correct?
Ms. Cole agrees to sleeping with multiple men, but she wants Mr. Gilbert and his family to believe Mr. Gilbert is the father of her unborn child. Mr. Gilbert and his family, on the hand, claim Ms. Cole is a liar, and they can't trust anything she says.
Upsets you most about this situation?
That Mrs. Cole and her daughter are constantly lying. We don't know the truth from fiction anymore. I'd like to just find out where we stand on this thing that comes out of their mouths is lies.
So you believe the baby she's carrying is not your son's child?
Mr. Gilbert's mother says she can't believe anything that comes out of Ms. Cole and her family's mouths, most particularly about the paternity of the pregnancy, because all they do is lie. There's Mr. Gilbert, who agreed to having unprotected sex with Ms. Cole, and there's Ms. Cole, who narrates how Me Gilbert was her knight in shining armor.
The man asked me to hang out with him, and I said yes. I went over there and...
Did you all start a relationship, or were you just having sex?
We were just having sex.
Was it more than once?
Twice in one day.
Twice in one day. And then after that, never again?
Never again, no.
Mr. Gilbert, how did you find out Miss Cole was...
One thing led to another, as Miss Cole had described, which was completely natural. Mr. Gilbert's response to Miss Cole informing him about the pregnancy is a little bit confusing, but at least we know he wasn't celebrating as opposed to what the text says.
Yes.
Right away?
No, he found out on Sunday. Mrs. Cole contacted me on Monday on Facebook, and when I called her, and her daughter, other daughter, Tasha, was in the background yelling, "He's not, it may be somebody else's, it may be somebody else's," and I'm going,
no,
really?
That's not.
Ms. Cole's sister seems to have ruined the entire situation even before it started. According to Mr. Gilbert's mother, she claimed to have overheard that her son isn't the only option for Ma Cole's child potential father. That's enough to create doubt before considering Ms. Cole's testimony of sleeping with other men.
Your Honor, he's fixed, and he did not complete.
So you're saying the other potential father you've
had.
He had.
But that's just his word. He's never given any evidence that he's fixed.
You don't have proof of that.
Evidence that he's fixed.
He's fixed? Well, the Cole's family translated that into the other potential father getting a vasectomy, which kind of rules him out in the list of possible fathers. But then again, Mr. Gilbert's mother has a reasonable point. No one knows if it was just his words, and if he genuinely didn't finish the act.
Lies that she had told him, and it's been nothing but lies out of her mouth. And that's what we have constantly gotten from not but one of you, but two of you. You don't find out the truth about what's, and you roll over and you start screaming.
That's right, because of my daughters.
Mr. Gilbert's mother isn't taking her foot off Ms. Cole and her family's neck for lying so much the entire time, and Ms. Cole's mother just keeps yelling. But Ms. Cole's mother refutes her claim, saying she had to do something because she can't watch her baby girl cry. That's sweet, but enough of the lies anyway.
Your son caused this. Your son caused this.
That's right.
Well, if my son caused this, why do I have evidence right here? The day they went to take the paternity test, it says your daughter is praying that it is my son's. That she doesn't know for sure.
Wait, what do you have?
Oh, so now Ms. Cole and her mother agree that people lie? That's interesting. Ms. Cole and her family want Mr. Gilbert to be the biological father with reasons best known to them. Whether it's shady or for some good reasons, let's see if Mr. Gilbert has fathered this unborn baby or the supposed fixed guy did.
Mr. Gilbert, you are not the father.
Oh, baby.
Miss Cole, I know this was not the answer you wanted, hon. I know that.
The father don't want nothing to do with the baby.
Having an affair under your partner's roof is another level of crazy. It's either the person doesn't like their partner at all, or they are just plain wild and don't give a damn about whatever comes out of it. Let's see what exactly it is in this case.
5 years ago, you made a huge mistake by opening your doors for Ms. Pence. Today, you're here to prove that you didn't father Pence's fraternal twins, 4-year-old Larry and Carrie, and the other man did. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Pence, you are certain Mr. Patrick is the father and claim
Mr. Patrick says he opened his doors in hopes of being kind to the wrong person that betrayed him. Well, that happened, Mr. Patrick. However, the betrayal is a different story, since what's more important here is the paternity of the twins, in which me, Patrick, does not believe he's their father. Ma Pence says that's a lie, as she knows he's their father, and the DNA test will prove that.
He had wanted to purchase another home. We met the gentleman. We befriended him, let him move into our home. He offered to help pay the bills and stuff.
So you basically took in a person that was going to rent a room?
Yeah, basically, yes.
Okay.
Well, he stayed maybe 5 or 6 days, and he moved out. And I questioned her. I said, wonder why he just left.
Okay.
A hurricane is definitely not a nice way to put it, but we get the picture Mr. Patrick was trying to paint. Ma Pence must be so bold to be able to leave her partner at home, be missing for hours, and come back looking like a mess without an explanation. Does Mr. Patrick even ask any questions? Or does he just welcome his partner back home? Something isn't adding up.
Overnight?
I did, Your Honor.
Why was you gone all night? You know what I mean? What'd you do? Who was you with?
And what was her response?
At that time.
What did you tell him, Ms. Pence?
I had told him that I had slept with the gentleman that had been staying with us. It was just the one time. It never happened again after that. And he still seems to believe that it happened more than the one time, Your Honor.
Y'all need to be careful of folks from the South, especially if you don't like your partner being flirtatious with random people. Ms. Pence just educated us about that. Anyway, how does being flirtatious lead to going all the way to look for the random man who had stayed at their house to have a one-time affair with him?
Constantly accused me of it, and I kept telling you, you're going to keep pushing, and it's going to happen. That night it happened. That was the only time, and it's never happened since then.
Then he leaves, just like that. Do you know why he left?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
I got a good idea.
Why do you think he left?
I believe that was.
Ms. Pence really has some funny statements clogged up in her head, and she's saying it here in paternity court. Mr. Patrick's explanation as to why the man left their house after a few days seems logical, but Ms. Pence says it's not true, okay?
Why that guy? Seemed like you went out looking for him.
There was no specific reason as to why that guy. It was just someone at the time that was around, and it happened.
So in other words,
But he wasn't around, he had left the house.
He had, Your Honor. I was with my neighbor, like I had stated earlier. Me and her had went out, me and him got together that night. We ended up.
Ms. Pence's reason does not seem plausible because she went looking for the man. He wasn't even within her reach anymore. Ms. Pence says it's her biggest mistake and she regrets it, but it doesn't look that way because she doesn't even look remorseful. Ms. Pence just wants to get it over with.
Did you sleep with the other man?
October 29th was the date that I had slept.
Oh, yeah, we need to have that circle on the calendar as well.
I slept with the other gentleman on October 29th, 4 days
so
later.
So that is just a 5-day window.
It is, Your Honor, but I know for a fact that November 2nd is the date that I conceived.
Ms. Pence would go to the ends of the earth to prove Mr. Patrick fathered her twin babies, even without a DNA. Ms. Pence isn't ready to consider the other man she had slept with, even though it's also during the window of conception. Ms. Pence may be right or wrong.
In your court papers, you specify that you also had additional doubt, and they're specifically around Larry. What are those doubts?
I think he's ADHD or something like that. You know what I mean? He doesn't listen. He's rambunctious.
He's a little boy.
I understand he's a little boy, and I hope he grows out of it someday, but
Mr. Patrick says one of the twins possibly has ADHD and that doesn't run in his family. And there's Ms. Pence blowing hot saying Mr. Patrick can't say for sure because he can't know everything about his family history. While that's a fair point, Mr. Patrick's observation is valid too.
We've always had arguments over stuff.
Yes, but Your Honor,
Just
we haven't even been had sex in probably the past 4 months that I go to bed pretty much. It's constant argument.
Concerning paternity issues?
Paternity and the one night stand and him saying that it happened more than the one time, Your Honor.
Oh, 4 months? Well, Mr. Patrick doesn't seem to be fazed by that, but Ms. Pence, on the other hand, seemed to be troubled by it, seeing how she's the one that voiced that out. Probably Mr. Patrick and Ms. Pence, arguments will reduce or not. Let's see if Mr. Patrick is the biological father of the twins or not.
Mr. Patrick, you are the father.
I told you that you was the father. I told you.
Oh, very much so. The deception stuff with the lie detector test,
I told you that.
That's the important part. Now, that's going to make it a little easier on me.
Owing child support is a debt that never goes away, but some men do not care or even want to pay up. Judging from paternity fraud cases, maybe these men have a right, but to be honest, some men are just deadbeat fathers, even when it has been proven that they are the father.
Currently owe more than $10,000 in child support for the defendant's 2 teenage daughters, LaQuandria Redmond and Kaisha Redmond, who you say are not yours. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Patterson, you say you are 100% certain that both girls.
Mr. Redmond is currently owing $10,000 for child support to his 2 supposed daughters from Ms. Patterson, but Mr. Redmond says he knows he's not their father, hence his reason for not paying up. However, Mrs. Patterson says he's indeed their father, and she's in paternity court to prove it.
Taking you so long to get this issue resolved?
Your Honor, over 19 years, I've been taking care of these kids, and Your Honor, I've been going to jail.
You've gone to jail?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor. I've gone to jail because I owe more than $10,000.
What is that, sir?
This is some from the courts where I owe over 10.
Oh, Mr. Redmond's debt and child support went up that much because he's been in jail. Okay, regardless of Mr. Redmond's unusual previous abode, Mr. Redmond isn't interested in paying the child support debt because he believes the girls aren't his children. Ms. Patterson says that's not true as she knows for a fact they are his children.
Her and her friend was in the bathroom and he had his pants down.
That is a lie.
When I walked into the bathroom, Your Honor, his pants was down and he quickly tried to pull them up and
that
she stood up.
That is a lie.
What?
Yes, Your Honor.
That is a
this
lie.
Is when you all were dating?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, you're saying that's not true?
That's not true.
Mr. Redmond's evidence isn't convincing, but okay, it's allowed. Mr. Redmond is trying to tell the court he has his doubts about the children because he had allegedly caught Miss Patterson with other men. Ms. Patterson says that's a lie, as he's always constantly accusing her of having an affair.
When we was in her hometown, I creeped up on her at her family's house. When I got there, Your Honor, I went round the back where they usually be, and I observed Miss Patterson drinking beer, smoking cigarettes, sitting on another man's lap.
You thought maybe he could be her father because...
Whew. Mr. Redmond has a couple of scenarios that makes him doubt the paternity of his children. However, Ms. Patterson claims he's just making things up, and she doesn't even know why he's doing that. Ma Patterson got so tired of Miss Redmond's attitude till the point that it led to the end of their marriage.
Phil, Kaisha is not your child. That's what I want to understand.
Because, Your Honor, I was so furious with Miss Patterson when we left her hometown. I slept on the couch. I wouldn't even sleep in the bed with her.
So you were not sleeping together?
We were.
That's
yes,
Kaisha's biological
That's not
father.
true, Your Honor. That's not.
Mr. Redmond and Ms. Patterson are saying two completely different things. Mr. Redmond claimed he wouldn't sleep on the bed because he was angry, but Ms. Patterson said he wasn't even at home. We are not sure who we are supposed to believe, but from these two people's mannerisms, it's a little bit easy to know who to believe.
He really started denying the children.
When I left him in 2000.
Were you also there for the entire birth while you had this doubt thing?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so at that time, Ms. Patterson, did you believe he doubted my children, or were you thinking that you all were just a married couple having children?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Redmond didn't doubt the paternity of the kids from beginning until he was getting dumped. Ms. Patterson says she thought they were just like every other normal couple having kids, but apparently Mr. Redmond didn't feel the same way.
Is your father, right?
I mean, yes.
That's what you've been told. Okay, and he's here today suggesting that perhaps he is not your biological father. What kind of relationship have you had with Mr. Redmond?
Nothing at all.
Really?
Yes.
And you've been told this is your father?
Yes, I have been told that he was my father.
Oh wow. These kids don't even recognize Mr. Redmond as their father due to his absence and lack of care for them. They only recognize their mother that has been there for them their entire life and see her as their mother and father. Well, Mr. Redmond did say he was locked up, so maybe that was his reason for being absent. Who knows?
First of all, Your Honor, the kids were kidnapped from me when they were in my custody. She came back and stole the kids from me with these kids. Then I found out when
Why is you sitting here lying? My mama ain't never had kidnapped us. She the one that signed them birth certificates. You ain't signed nothing.
Okay, Mr. Redmond's time behind bars wasn't as long as one might have thought. Mr. Redmond defended himself saying the kids were kidnapped from him and that caused the distance between them. But wait a minute. One of Miss Patterson's daughters won't let Mr. Redmond's words fly as she tears up revealing their struggles, while Mr. Redmond has been nowhere to be found. This is quite emotional and only the DNA test result can set things straight.
Mr. Redmond, you are the father. Mr. Redmond, you are the father.
Apologize to
he don't need him.
You need to apologize. No, seriously. He needs to apologize.
I do apologize.
Men need to start to learn how to zip up to avoid stories of women pinning babies on them. At least no one would say a man that hasn't slept with them at all impregnated them. Men saying women are pinning babies on them like the man in this case need to step up and to be loyal to one woman.
You say you and your grandmother are and you need the defendant, Mr. Means, to accept you both believe the only reason Mr. Means is denying your child is because of his claim. You were never in a relationship with Ms. Davison that during the window of conception because she knows you are a good man.
Mrs. Davis is still trying to get her way past her teenage years, and she has a baby already in which she and her grandmother are asking Mr. Means to step up to the plate. However, Mr. Means says he's not about to gather another man's child because he knows he's not the father, and Ms. Davis is just trying to pin the baby on him. As previously stated, Mr. Means could have zipped up to avoid this, but here we are.
Why it's so difficult for you raising your baby?
I am 19 years old. He is 10 years older than me. I did not make this baby on my own, and I shouldn't have to take care of him on my own. My grandmother should not have to pick up the slack and handle his side of the work. He needs to help out.
Mr. Means, you haven't been helping out?
Okay, 6 to 7 men is over the top for any woman, not to mention for a 19-year-old girl, but Mr. Means may be lying anyway. And Mr. Means mentioned it was just 3 times, like 1 time isn't enough to make a child. Ms. Davis says she's a teenager who can't do much, and her grandmother can't be the one to be responsible for Mr. Means' child.
Were you also having sex with his friends?
It's not true. And it wasn't just a 3-time hit it and quit it. He was actually staying at my house. He was eating there, sleeping there, basically.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
And your grandmother?
Yes.
My
no,
house.
not sleeping with her.
I did not mean that.
Having sex with a teenager at her grandmother's house? That's insane. Mr. Means still has the audacity to be the loudest in the room when he's clearly in the wrong? That's some different type of nerve he's got. Moving towards a teenager is bad enough. Then there's the messy situation going on. That's too messy.
About 3 months.
3 months?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he would stay in the house with you and your grandmother?
Yes, Your Honor.
I was not the only man that going in there. It was 3 other people.
The time that I conceived, the time that I conceived,
hold on,
you were in my house.
Hold on. Other men coming
Not
in and out of the
at the time that I
house.
conceived. No, there was not.
Mr. Means just seems like he's trying to cover up his bad deed from his fiancée. Grandma thought her granddaughter would be safer in the house than on the streets, but with men like me Means? There's no safe place. Mr. Means says there were other men, but that doesn't nullify him from also being in the picture.
I was born 6/21/2016, and that means it leads back to October, the month that I conceived. And
Your Honor, how's that possible when she left Jersey and was gone for like 6-7 months with her boyfriend at the time?
And yes, I did get back with my boyfriend.
According to Ms. Davis's conception window and calculation, Ms. Davis claims Mr. Means fathered her child, but everyone knows by now that Mr. Means wouldn't let that fly. Mr. Means brought up Ms. Davis's relationship with her boyfriend and the dates. Maybe Mr. Means is right or not. He's still one of the potential fathers of the baby.
Challenge something on the board.
Okay.
Come on now, baby girl. You talking about 2 men, you got 3, 4 other people trying to play me like that.
So hold on, you put an X on every month for not having sex or the sex for extra sex?
Well, I put the answers for her ex. She wasn't having sex with me.
Twice in September, okay, but that's not the time that I conceived.
Listen, I got my...
Mr. Means is really looking for every possible means to be removed from the equation, but unfortunately, he had sex with Ms. Davis, and that inevitably put him in this mess. Mr. Means claims Ms. Davis was also seeing her ex and other men. Ms. Davis doesn't deny that, but Ms. Davis says Mr. Means was the one present during the window of conception.
Your Honor, I have text messages of Mr. Means calling me his baby mother and saying that he's a bad baby father because he couldn't make it to the hospital. Why would you?
Let me see that. Let me see that.
You like to see them? Okay.
You stay back there.
Jerome will get thank you. Ms. Davis, you're saying these are...
Mr. Means sent all of these texts and is in court trying to act brand new, like he never had anything to do with Ms. Davis since their supposed few sexual encounters. Mr. Means wasn't even at the hospital during the birth of the baby, but he could actively respond to texts talking about how he loves Ms. Davis and stuff? Oh Lord, have mercy.
A picture when I was
girl.
Okay, and what are you gonna do?
Actually,
Settle down, ladies. Settle down.
I apologize.
Ladies.
Sorry.
I'm not sure why there is so much bad blood between the two of you, but the truth is, she's admitting that he could...
Mr. Means' fiancée is in court arguing with a 19-year-old. Mr. Means and his fiancée are a good fit for each other at this point. Mr. Means seemed to have tried to take advantage of a teenager, but it has come back to bite him in the ass. However, Mr. Means is already caught in the loop, and only the DNA test results can help him out or reel him in.
Mr. Pittman, you are not father. Mr. Means, you are the father. I can tell by your reaction that was not the news you wanted to hear.
It is what it is. I just want to see my son.
Good. Have you ever seen him?
Never seen him.
It's so rare to see a father claiming a child in paternity court. Almost every man in the stand always believes they are not the father of the child until the DNA test results come back positive. Most men believe the woman was laying with another man, which may be true, but it doesn't cancel the fact that they may be the biological father. Anyway, just like the rest, the man in this case also does not believe he's the father.
Ms. Brown, you claim the defendant got you pregnant and now refuses to do anything for your 2-month-old daughter, Journey. You claim today's DNA test will prove that he is Journey's father and you need him to step up and help you support your baby. % certain you are not her child's biological father.
Ms. Brown claims Mr. Jones is the father of her baby and the financial burden has been a lot on her, and she wants to prove in court today that the man in the stand is her baby daddy and he should be responsible for his child. On the other hand, Mr. Jones says he's 100% sure he is not the biological father of the baby, and he even has evidence to support his claim. Let's see how that goes.
Brown, you say his paternity denial has left you in financial trouble. Yeah. Explain to the court.
I called him, Ryan, she needs...
You can't work. Why? Because you can't afford child care?
I have no one to keep her. I'm in this alone by myself. I have no support. It's always been hard on me. And I'm like, well, what you want me to do? Rob a bank? Should I go out and steal diapers again? You want me to get arrested again?
Wait, what? Go steal diapers and milk? That's sad. Having no one to depend or rely on can be hard, but to the extent of stealing from stores? Nobody is trying to force Mr. Jones to do anything since he isn't sure about the baby's paternity, but then again, he may be the potential father. The least he could have done is to provide basic stuff like diapers for the baby. Even if Mr. Jones' evidence is solid, he could have at least been compassionate. That was the woman he slept with anyway.
Crimes You get put in jail, prison, and then who's gonna watch your children? You don't ever have to do that. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were already arrested for that?
Yes, ma'am. So to prevent myself from, going down that road again, I've called him. My baby's wrapped up in towels for 3 days. Mr. Jones, my baby needs diapers.
Done small? Mr. Jones said he has done small, but his potential child is getting wrapped up in a towel after birth. Maybe we can blame Ms. Brown for bringing forth a child to life when she has no plan on how to make it through. But then again, it takes 2 to tango. Mr. Jones, acting all big-sighing Ms. Brown, should have moved to the state he was in like folks don't send money across different states or even countries.
I want to understand this relationship.
Okay, I had just moved with my cousin to North Carolina. I had met her at work, and she had a boyfriend. So I, from one house to another, and then before we could really get to know each other, it was, she's pregnant. Yes, ma'am.
And you were living on the same roof?
Knew her enough to have sex, but what? Folks just get naked and sleep with whoever. Ms. Brown also talking about how she wasn't planning on dealing with Mr. Jones until she was completely done with her previous relationship, but she was having unprotected sex. These grown folks, DeForest, need an orientation about sexual education.
We moved together. It was just me and him every day, all day, even at work. We even worked together.
So how soon after this did you get pregnant?
It was about 2 weeks, y'all.
It was.
And I'm like, hold on. We haven't even went through the first,
It has not been 2 weeks. And I was like, well, do you guys know how far along I am? They was like, they can't tell because, it's like kind of just the beginning.
2 weeks later, and there's a pregnancy to cater for. Then all of a sudden, both the chaser and the person being chased start having issues. The love flame went off almost immediately. Mr. Jones's doubt is valid, but it is what it is. He's still on the list of potential fathers to the baby if there is another man in the picture.
Like I said, I'm an older man, I'm almost 40.
A little boy.
I'm almost 40, messing with a little girl. So I got caught up and I got my hand caught in the cookie jar. I can't change this person here, this friend here, and this guy pop up and she gonna.
That helps me support
friend,
because he don't do nothing.
A friend it's just too many friends.
Oh, now Mr. Jones remembers he's grown and he's messing with a much younger person. Okay. Ms. Brown strikes back saying he's a little boy. Mr. Jones says Ms. Brown has too many friends and that caused him to have doubts, but Ms. Brown's defense is that these friends helped her financially. Maybe that's true or not. The important deal here is the baby.
When she told you she was pregnant, did you initially doubt?
He told me I was pregnant. We was in the house one day and I was like, I'm tired, I'm sleepy.
Yeah, I knew.
He said, you're pregnant. I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Like
so
they
the
said
next
when I
day,
met her, she
the
was
next
already.
And it came back positive. So I went to.
Mr. Jones has been on Earth long enough to know when a woman is pregnant even before the woman knows. That's interesting. Anyway, Mr. Jones's intuition wasn't wrong, but he felt Ms. Brown had brought the pregnancy into his home coupled with some other factors that made him doubt the baby's paternity more.
Situation.
She told me she was pregnant and I told her she didn't know if she wanted to keep the baby. So I was like, well, if you're not gonna keep the baby, I suggest you not. It's a baby, he hasn't had a baby. And she told me that she don't know who the baby daddy is.
Lie.
I have.
Let me see that, please, Jerome.
Option. I said, you can't do that without his signature.
This is a.
Ms. Brown just shot herself in the leg with those text messages. Planning to give a baby up for adoption and not even considering the supposed potential father is weird, and it just only proves one thing, that she doesn't know who the baby daddy is, like she opened up to Mr. Jones's first cousin. There's also the part where Ms. Brown was nowhere to be found when they were supposed to do a DNA testing. Mrs. Brown seems shady, and only the DNA test result can't do justice to the situation.
Mr. Jones, you are her father.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
What do you feel in this moment, Ms. Brown?
I'm relieved. I'm happy. Hopefully he can step up, get people out of his ear.